I'm down 21 pounds total.
It changed my life a lot.
I've definitely lost 12 or 14 pounds.
Even my husband's on board, and it's easy for us to do it. So we're really loving it.
Hi, my name is Krissa Benson. Now, even though I've appeared on Emmy award-winning daytime talk shows countless times, recording this video is terrifying to me. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I'd tell you standing here is something I would never do. But today, I'm finally ready to open up about something not even my closest girlfriends, not even my sister knows about. I'm recognized as one of the nation's top health and fitness experts. I've taught hundreds of fitness classes across the country, and my work has been featured in popular magazines like Self, Women's Health, Parents, Shape, and more. I've had the privilege of transforming over 100,000 women's lives, helping them lose weight, boldly achieve their dreams, and break through to a life they've always imagined. But when I woke up that morning, reached for my husband, and he was gone, everything changed. I struggled with crippling anxiety, autoimmune disease that ruined my skin, adrenal fatigue, and these nightly stress-eating food binges that I couldn't stop no matter how much I hated myself. I become a total hermit. I left my job, I turned down deals, and I hit rock bottom hard, completely without warning. The only reason I'm willing to relive those dark and painful memories today is because I want every woman to know you do not deserve to feel stuck in a shell of a body you don't recognize anymore. Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. My rock bottom was also the day I was saved by a miraculous phone call that brought me back from the brink, from a tent in the Middle East, and set me on a journey into the dark underbelly of the multi-billion-dollar diet and weight loss industry, where I discovered the truth behind the misinformation, myths, and straight-out lies they were spreading, just to milk as much money as they could from desperate women. And this journey also led me to discover a completely natural, simple, and effective method for reversing anyone's unexplained and unexpected weight gain. And it works even if you struggled with your weight for years, even if you've tried every single diet and fitness routine on the planet. It's a method backed by leading research from some of the top scientific institutions in the world. And in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how to reverse the damage that's been done and share how I discovered a way to flood your body with a fat-burning super hormone you've probably never even heard of and haven't yet learned how to activate. It's based on a technique used by the U.S. military's most elite units to help keep their soldiers alive and healthy. But don't worry, it's got nothing to do with their grueling exercise routines or boot camp stuff. And it's something both Navy SEALs and busy soccer moms do. And you can too, right from the comfort of your own chair, without eating less than a picky 2-year-old or working out like a bodybuilder. All it takes is simply hitting the reset button inside your body. That corrects a devastating condition affecting millions of people I refer to as hormonal shock syndrome, that's been holding your metabolism hostage and forcing your gut to hoard fat like crazy. It's something most doctors don't even know how to test for, even though there's a 7 out of 10 chance you're struggling with it right now, even if you don't realize it. It could be why, if you're a woman over 40, you're seeing your waist, belly, and thighs expanding by the year. And if you've been fooled into believing it's all about calories in and calories out, maybe you're wondering why you've been stuck at your weight, even though you've been fighting and doing everything you can, and feel resentful towards other women, the ones who don't even care about their diet and stay at the same low weight. Well, Harvard scientists figured it out. It's because the amount of calories you eat has nothing to do with it. It all comes back to your extreme deficiency of one hormone, and it's not estrogen. It's also why women I speak to constantly feel tired, stressed, sick, and bloated. This syndrome has been scientifically proven to cause premature aging, poor sleep, inflammation, and it can literally force your body to gain weight no matter how little you eat or how much you work out. So if you're sick of buying loose, baggy clothes to hide the belly rolls spilling over your pants. Or if you've been avoiding looking at the mirror naked at all costs and cringing when you look down to see the cellulite creep around your thighs, then please keep watching, because I'm about to tell you how the most terrifying moment of my life led to my husband revealing the closely guarded information that not only brought me back from the brink of self-destruction and total self-sabotage, but is also helping thousands of women regain control over their body. And I've been cleared to share that same information with you today. It's a simple technique that experts say could be the quickest way for you to hit the reset button inside your body, so your cells start to naturally produce the right energy to turbocharge your metabolism, allowing you to shed off the excess fat it's been forced to pile on in as little as 60 seconds a day. It's vital you watch all of this information now, because I don't know how long this video is going to stay up. The truth is, this method is something my old colleagues in the weight loss industry don't want you knowing about, because they know they stand to lose billions of dollars. They especially don't want you to know that those extreme and restrictive diets and crazy exercise fads they shove down your throat can actually make the problem worse, forcing your body to hoard more fat than ever and making it all but impossible to lose a single stubborn pound. Truth is, it's not your fault that your body has been piling on weight around your gut, hips, thighs, and arms. It's all caused by this hormonal state of shock. And according to the University of North Carolina, when you slave away at the treadmill and when you starve yourself, picking at nothing but carrots and celery while everyone around you gets to eat tacos and donuts, well, guess what? That causes your body to panic and hold on to weight for dear life. Yep, everything you do to fight off stubborn fat might be making the problem worse. I know that sounds scary, but don't worry. I'm going to show you the 60-second ritual my hero husband taught me that I now teach all of my clients. It's a simple method. You could do it right here watching this video that fixes the hormonal deficiency causing weight gain and triggers a flood of a healthy, vital hormone that helps melt away every ounce of unnecessary fat from your body. It gets to work immediately, reversing years of metabolic damage and premature aging, and restores the sexy, healthy, and slim physique you've always wanted. I'm also going to show you all the research that proves it works and share stories of women who've used it to lose weight permanently and effortlessly without having to swear off brownies or pasta forever. All these women are finally able to realize what it feels like to feel sexy again, happy to spend their money on clothes that make them look and feel good, and excited to notice their husbands are looking at them in the same way they used to again. But it's not just about being able to show off a fit body. It's about trying to help save people's lives from chronic diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, even heart disease. It's about protecting our husbands, parents, and children from the devastating hole that could never be filled when one of these diseases takes someone too soon. That's why it's so important that anyone struggling with their weight take decisive action today to fix this problem. And I believe this 60-second fat loss trigger is the best way you can take action right now. So if you're ready to join the thousands of women who successfully shed the stubborn and embarrassing pounds that build up around their bellies, waists, and thighs, then keep watching. I'll show you the 60-second ritual you can do right away in the morning to lose the excess fat. And remember what it feels like to feel confident and proud every time you walk past a mirror. So if you're serious about finally dropping the weight and changing your life, you're in the right place. I'll explain more on how you can do that in just a second. But first, I have to tell you how it all started. I was home with the kids as usual on a regular Monday night when my husband walked in from work like he'd seen a ghost. I thought he was trying to be funny, but the smirk that usually followed was replaced with a startling look I had never seen before. I thought he was going to tell me someone died, but I didn't expect what would happen next. He grabbed my hands, paused, and looked at me. "What? Tell me," I begged as he stared off into the distance. I didn't even realize I was holding my breath until I almost passed out when he finally uttered the words, "I'm leaving." In that moment, it felt like my world had completely unraveled. Up until yesterday, I had this perfect life with this perfect little family, and now I would have to raise our children completely and utterly alone. And the worst part, he couldn't even promise he'd make it home alive. As you can imagine, every day felt like I was carrying 1,000 heavy bricks on my shoulders. What was worse was seeing what he was facing in the desert, fighting a war every time I turned on the news. Footage of Marines being bombarded with enemy fire, helicopters crashing, and men losing limbs to IEDs. I was terrified, but I couldn't help but watch religiously. Then after each report, to drown out those fears, I would sob my way through piles of junk food just to deal with the stress. I had no self-control. So it wasn't long before my body started changing. My skin was plagued with psoriasis. My hair was brittle and starting to fall out, and my tummy was so bloated and uncomfortable. People were actually asking if I was pregnant again. The cellulite creeped in around my thighs almost overnight, and I knew my body and my career were at risk, and that no one could take me seriously as a health coach looking like this. So I started working out like crazy and seriously restricting my eating. I skipped breakfast, and I refused to eat more than a salad for dinner, but somehow my body only got worse. I was constantly anxious and irritable, and I had zero willpower around food, stuck in a cycle of guilt and shame when I ate everything in sight some nights. My mental health began to unravel even faster. Then one day, when I was out running errands, faced with the deafening and lonely silence of an empty car ride, I began to spiral. The constant fear for my husband's safety and the sickening guilt after I caved to stress eating. The pressure to keep it all together was too much to handle, and my heart started beating out of my chest. It felt like someone had their hands around my neck, and I couldn't breathe. That's when the mid-morning sun reflected off a light pole, and it sucked me in. I imagined gripping the steering wheel and swerving hard right into it. The thunderous crash of my car slamming into the pole at 60 miles an hour. I felt the broken glass shredding my skin and the windshield shattering. And I imagined myself lying there in a hospital bed, my mom flying in to take care of the kids. I imagined finally getting some sleep, lying there in the emergency care unit and being too injured to be able to get out of bed and binge on junk food. Free from temptation, a break from feeling helpless, powerless, and constantly terrified. I saw it all happen in my mind, sucked in by the fantasy there on the California freeway at 10:34 on a Wednesday morning. And right then, just as I was about to lose all hope and spiral into something I could never come back from, my phone rang. 7,000 miles away, under a starry desert night sky, my husband felt something in his gut. I mean, maybe it was warrior instinct, or maybe it was the sacred vow we'd made at the altar all those years ago, but he knew I was in trouble. So when I saw an international number flashing on the screen, it shook me to my core. With shaking hands, I hit the answer button on my phone, promising myself I'd put on a brave face so he didn't have to worry about us. But the second I heard his deep, familiar voice on the other end of the line, I totally lost it. The sobs came uncontrollably as I dropped a bombshell of confessions and fear, telling him how close I had come to doing something completely insane and how all the pressure of this was eating me alive. The silence on the other end of the line once I'd finished was deafening. I was terrified that he got cut off and it would be months until we had the chance to talk again. But when he finally spoke, I heard his voice switch from husband mode into Marine officer mode as he began to tell me something he'd never before shared with a civilian.